are coming down.
Have risen considerably, but in Sangam, in South Kashmir, where waters are measured, the levels have come down. In Ram Munshi Bagh, it's marginally up. The government has already announced a flood. Yesterday, people have been asked to remain alert. Control rooms have been set up, and also helplines have been given out for all those who would need any help. Right now, there's the problem of waterlogging in many areas, and that's caused some sort of a inundation in low-lying areas. But so far, the Jhelum has not breached anywhere. The waters have not entered the city. The Met had forecast that weather will improve from today. It was not raining in the morning, but now it's raining again, as you can see, and that's the biggest worry. The memories of 2014 floods still fresh. People in the night were seen taking their belongings from the ground floor, taking them up onto their top floors. In Srinagar, with Sheikh Tariq Zafar Iqbal for NDTV.
Well, what about the rest of the weather across the country? For that, it's across to my colleague Divya.
Thank you so much, Vishnu. Let's talk about Srinagar first. Of course, it has started to rain, but it was dry over most parts, especially since last night. The rainfall has considerably come down. The Met Department is telling us that heavy rain, light to moderate rain is in forecast over the coming 24 hours in many areas of the valley. However, the situation is likely to start improving, like Zafar mentioned, and that's what we're expecting. The forecast tells us that the showers will be much lesser and the situation is likely to start improving. In fact, from tomorrow, dry weather conditions are expected. But another western disturbance is expected around the 12th, which could bring about showers all over again. Now, heavy rain and snowfall, like I mentioned, is expected in the coming 24 hours in many areas of Jammu and Kashmir. However, by tomorrow, the situation should be all clear. Thunder showers expected towards Bihar, Jharkhand, as well as Uttar Pradesh, while in the southern part of the country, Karnataka and Kerala will receive showers. But dust-raising winds in Rajasthan, in fact, has improved the temperatures there. The temperatures there have come down considerably. Do remember, heatwave conditions were prevailing in Rajasthan over the last so many days, but heatwave conditions have abated from all through the country. However, certain parts of Maharashtra, temperature still ranges between 42 to about 44 degrees Celsius, but the deviation from normal is lesser than 3 degrees or up to 3 degrees, which means heatwave conditions are prevailing anywhere in the country at the moment. In Delhi, the maximum temperature is around 38 degrees. It's expected to reach 39 degrees by the start of next week. But let's take into account in April, the temperature usually reaches more than 40 degrees. That's what we've seen from 2013 till last year. In fact, it reached 45.5 degrees Celsius in 2015. This year, we are hoping in April this record doesn't get broken, because according to the Met Department, temperature is likely to be at least a degree more than usual. That's the latest that I have for you, Vishnu. What do you have for us?
Divya, thanks very much. Well, after the Haryana government transferred the controversial case of the allotment of land to Associated Journals, which brought out the National Herald, the CBI has registered an FIR against the former Chief Minister Bhupinder Singh Hooda in Haryana. The case says that Hooda, then chairman of the Haryana Urban Development Ministry, had made, or department had made an allotment in an arbitrary fashion, which resulted in losses to taxpayers. Sunetra Chaudhary joins us now for more on this. Sunetra, this of course a very politically loaded case which affects the Congress party. Where exactly does this FIR fit in the overall scheme of things?
Well, what it does is it immediately puts pressure on the opposition, on the Congress party, because Associated Journals has been taken over by a company which has directors of Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. So the first thing that comes to mind is that will this mean questioning of Congress President and Congress Vice President Sonia and Rahul Gandhi? In fact, one of the things that is there in the FIR is a letter from the Haryana government which says the reason we are transferring it to CBI is because the people associated with the companies are in other places and they're high-ranking officials, very high-profile people. So it seems very clear that this has been transferred to the CBI because they want to probe the Gandhis. And remember, the Gandhis are already facing trial in this in a Delhi court. So this is added pressure in that case. Of course, the CBI's case is, or the Vigilance Department's case, which now CBI is probing, is that Bhupinder Singh Hooda as Chief Minister when he transferred it, re-allotted it to AJL, Associated Journals, in 2005. It was done illegally because the first allotment was in 82 and they are saying he did it at the same price, causing a loss of 62 lakh rupees. Now it will be up to the CBI to prove that it wasn't done with all the papers involved and that Hooda in fact did, as they say, misused his position in order to make this allotment to favouring the Congress President and the Congress Vice President.
All right, Sunitra, we leave it there. Thanks very much for joining us. The IT city Bengaluru is struggling for water in these harsh months. It's not even summer, but in many parts of the country it appears to be that. And there's more bad news for citizens of the city, with serious questions being raised about the quality of water that's available.
The Public Accounts Committee of the Karnataka legislature has said that water in over 6,000 bore wells maintained by the Bengaluru Water Board is not fit to drink. Contaminated with nitrate, heavy metals and E. coli bacteria, people are freely drawing and drinking this water.
While only 805 borewells were declared fit to be used, the contract for maintenance is given for more than 2,000 borewells, which means many of these contaminated borewells are still in use.
Activists and experts say the warning signs have been ignored for over a decade. Drinking water with nitrate and heavy metals could lead to cancer and also affect functioning of the brain.
People in poorer areas, in slums, are given extremely bad quality water. I think now it's gone beyond urban deprived communities. It is hitting even the middle class, because when you say 59 to 75% of water which is contaminated.
The water board concedes that contaminated water is being used by people, but says most of these borewells were transferred to them by various agencies. Tushar Girinath, chairman of the water board, says, "We accept the pact findings. Even our finding says 33 to 40% borewells are contaminated wherever, while the rest..."
Just a year in the area. Today we take you to the tiger territory of Gunlupet. Maya Sharma has the story.
Gunlupet in Karnataka's Chamarajanagar district is tiger territory, covering parts of the forest region that has the highest number of wild tigers in the world. But these precautions are for the Bypoll in Gunlupet, which has seen the claws come out. There is even criticism from the Congress of the BJP's B.S. Yediyurappa for fielding a candidate against the Congress's Geeta Mahadev Prasad. Geeta is the wife of late Minister Mahadev Prasad, whose death made this Bypoll necessary.
ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಆಸೆಲಿ ನಾನು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಪ್ಪಿಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ನಿಲ್ತೀನಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇನೆ. I'm very sure he said, don't you worry, we are going to see that you are going to be elected unopposed because of all the good work your husband has done. That is all I can say, no comment.
ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದು ಸಾಂತ್ವನ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹತ್ರ ಸತ್ತು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಜಕಾರಣ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರ. ರಾಜ್ಯಾಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾದಂತ ಯಡಿಯೂರಪ್ಪನವರು ಈ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಪ್ರತಿ ಗ್ರಾಮಕ್ಕೂ ಭೇಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತದ್ದು, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಹೋಪ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ.
Star campaigners are putting in the effort in this summer heat.
Did a good, yes, he has done good works there. Speaker has been continuously there since 5 elections he won.
No sympathy, nothing like that, madam. Sympathy is with Niranjan.
So finally, sir, how confident are you of Gunlupet?
1% we are going to win, minimum 25,000 lead in both the constituencies.
For most voters in this drought here, drinking water is a big issue.
ಕಬಿನಿ ವಾಟರ್ ನಂಜನಗೂಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕಬಿನಿ ನಂಜನಗೂಡಿಂದ ಬರಬೇಕು.
ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು 1000 ಅಡಿ ತೆಗೆದ್ರು ನೀರು ಬರಲ್ಲ.
The battle for Gunlupet has been quite a bitter one. Geeta, the Congress candidate, claims that the BJP's Yediyurappa promised not to put up a candidate against her. The BJP says no such thing was promised. So while the Congress seat, the assembly elections. With DM Kumar, Maya Sharma in Gunlupet for NDTV.
Well, it's time now for us to take a short break. There's a lot more coming up, including our special focus on World Health Day, a look at the need to talk about depression.
कर दिया है मौत को निराश and that's six it's a big win for the team. Water is
Suicide rates in the world. It was not.
If a person fed up, it's a cry for help.
Every case of suicide is preventable.
Watch NDTV. Every life counts. Let's talk about depression.
The campus is the new political battlefield.
हमारे यहाँ के लोग एस्टेब्लिशमेंट के खिलाफ लड़ते रहे हैं, लेकिन देशद्रोही नहीं हो सकते।
A new crop of leaders to challenge the current lot. Listen to their voices.
Yes, we need to cleanse our system, but it's not as if the government is not sensitive to the difficulties that people are undergoing.
Debate.
Pride in dignity issues. ये अस्मिता और अस्तित्व दोनों की लड़ाई है।
NDTV introduces you to the new warriors. New Kids on the Block with me, Sunetra Chaudhary.
Friday at 9:30 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
Brought to you by CLLST, the trusted coach in town.
Talk to me. Can't talk about this anymore. What's going on? What's going on?
डिप्रेशन दबे पांव आकर बैठ जाता है हमारे अंदर। चलो उसे जाने, पहचाने। जरा सा भी कुछ सही ना लगे तो देखें दोबारा, समझें दोबारा, थामें दोबारा। लॉग ऑन टू द livelovelaugh.foundation.org। परवाह है तो दोबारा पूछो।
Residents of the Tamil Nadu Health Minister Vijay Bhaskar, there have also been raids at his properties and those of associates in 34 other places. These raids came 2 days after video emerged in the cash for votes at RK Nagar ahead of crucial bypolls on the 12th of this month. IT officials say that they believe that the Health Minister Vijay Bhaskar has also evaded taxes in a big way. Income tax officials have also raided the actor Sarath Kumar's house in Chennai.
Man in the ADMK. He is not only active man, he is having 34 booths are his control. Now during the by-election, RKNR by-election, first of all, the election commission transfer the returning officer. And again another transfer of some of the lowest officers, police officers. Okay, we agree. Now yesterday, the election commission put another gentleman for overlook the Lakani, the chief election commission officer. You know very well why. What is the reason? Because who is back behind, you know very well. Number one. Number two, during the election time, during the election campaign, today, Friday, we are going to some of the Muslims area. And Mr. Vijay Bhaskar is organizing for some of the Masudi at 12:30. So, knowing fact, he is very active in the party and he is active worker.
Well, Uma Sudhir and Sam Daniel join us for more on this. Sam, let me come to you first. Is there anything substantial which has been recovered so far in these raids?
Well, so far no official word on that in terms of recovery or any documents they have found, but all we know is the raids are going on at least 36 places, including the residence of the Health Minister Vijay Bhaskar Vishnu. The larger picture emerging as the two key leaders being raided are supporters of the Sasikala camp, who support the candidature of TTV Dinakaran for the RK Nagar bypolls, and the income tax officials allege that they have prima facie evidence that the minister played a key role in distribution of money to voters, to buy voters at the RK Nagar constituency. And Sarath Kumar, whose party also supports the Sasikala faction here, they allege had received huge money to use his cadre to distribute money. And lastly, the Vice Chancellor of the Tamil Nadu, Dr. MGR Medical University, who is also being raided, they say was used to hoard the minister's money, but the AIADMK denies. They tacitly blame the OPS faction for this, indicating that they have colluded with the central government to use the income tax officials for this. The larger picture emerging is that the battle is all about winning Jayalalitha's legacy for both camps in the AIADMK. And this comes a few days after a video emerged showing somebody from the TTV Dinakaran camp allegedly giving out cash for voters up to 4,000 rupees every vote. And if Dinakaran manages to win, he could well become the chief minister. If he loses, he could go into political oblivion, and that's why the stakes are very high. But at the moment, no word on what have they found, particularly the income tax officials, as they raid these 36 places across Tamil Nadu.
And Uma, how is this, in a sense, being seen, as part of a larger political game, as it were? And the reason I ask that, because there's been something else. There's been a TV network, Putya Thalama Murai, which has also been taken off air by Arsu Cable in 15 districts. So this is, some would say, unconnected. Others would say it's part of this bigger political rivalry being played out, and now there are these raids.
Putya Talamurai being blacked out by Arasu Cable, which is of course part of the government network. That is being linked to a survey that they came up with, which showed, which was not in favor of the ruling party, but actually said that the OPS camp is leading on several counts, not just in RK Nagar. They have not, of course, given that as the official reason, but political motive being attributed to be being taken off air. This other huge developments that are happening less than 5 days before this very, very high voltage campaign that in the run up to the by-election in RK Nagar. Of course, RK Nagar, not just one single constituency that late Chief Minister Jayalalitha represented, but win or a loss here could actually change the entire Tamil Nadu political scene, because people are pointing out that if Mr. Dinakaran were to actually win this, the other parties, whether the OPS faction or it is even the BJP, would not find any more political space in Tamil Nadu perhaps, and the Sasikala camp would start to reinforce themselves. On the other hand, if the Dinakaran were to lose, then it is quite possible that the the EPS, the Chief Minister plus the OPS, all of them could come together, and the Sasikala Dinakaran group could be kept apart, and that could perhaps provide certain kind of a moving space or maneuverability for the central government. This, of course, with attribution of motives that these raids are happening with an eye on the RK Nagar bypolls. Of course, the spokesperson of the AIADMK Amma group, the Sasikala group himself, saying that because Vijay Bhaskar was an important factor or a minister in the RK Nagar area, that's the reason why he is being targeted. Back to you, Vishnu.
All right, Uma, thank you too. We're going to move across now to a press conference being addressed on the National Film Awards. Let's listen in.
Okay. And producers Canvas Scope. The best popular film providing wholesome entertainment is for Sathamanam Bhavati, Telugu. Director is Satish Vagesna and V. Venkata Ramanas Reddy, producer. Indira Gandhi Award for the best debut film of a director has gone to the Bengali film Alifa. The director is Deep Chowdhury and producer is Aman Ahmad.
All right, the National Film Awards are being announced over there, at least a couple.
जरा सा भी कुछ सही ना लगे। तो देखें दोबारा, समझें दोबारा, थामें दोबारा. Log on to the livelovelaughfoundation.org. परवाह है तो दोबारा पूछो.
I always like to do portraits. It is the laying of colors, the way you see brush going over it gives a lot of satisfaction.
Find your mojo in art with Mojato.com. Buy Satish Gupta artworks exclusively on Mojato.com. Two of them.
Are you good at the Russian accent? I don't.
I don't think mine is Russian.
Which one of the rumors is true?
Ma'am, I'm not Manish Malhotra's nephew.
Thomas fans, even friends.
I love you, I love you, I love you.
You should. Life doesn't get any better than this because it's Meet a Bollywood Star Day. Spotlight tonight at 10 on NDTV 24/7.
दादी, your favorite song. इस पे तो नाचना ही पड़ेगा.
Who's that girl? How does she know Dadi's favorite song जबकि हमें भी नहीं पता?
भैया, that's Meera, my wedding planner.
और जानने का मन करे, बीबा.
Sorry sir, वो app notifications, you know.
No, I don't know. On the...
Okay.
No.
Sir, मेरे apps.
जब 10 ऐप का काम एक जेडी ऐप कर सकता है, why have so many? Shopping, restaurants, movies, bill payments, जेडी पे everything. तो इधर उधर जाने की क्या जरूरत है? जेडी पे आइए.
Well, income tax officials have searched the Chennai residence of the Tamil Nadu Health Minister Vijay Bhaskar. There have also been raids and at properties of his associates and in 34 other places. These raids come 2 days after video evidence of cash for votes at RK Nagar ahead of the bypoll scheduled for the 12th of this month. IT officials believe that Vijay Bhaskar has evaded taxes as well. They've also raided the house of Sarath Kumar, the actor in Chennai. Uma Sudhir joins us now for more on this. Uma, what's the update?
Vishnu, in fact, the raids that are happening just less than 5 days before the high voltage campaign in RK Nagar, that obviously is being looked at in the same context as well. And what they are talking about is that all these raids that are happening in the AIADMK Amma side, that is the Dinakaran side, seem to be indicating some kind of a nervousness on the part of the other parties that are involved. Of course, Sarath Kumar only yesterday, in fact, went and met Dinakaran in the presence of the Chief Minister and in fact expressed support for Dinakaran. And yesterday in the evening we saw the OPS faction bringing out the coffin of Jayalalitha, a dummy coffin of Jayalalitha, and asking for votes. That also became a flashpoint, after which there were in fact clashes between OPS faction and the Dinakaran faction on the ground, and some people in fact were taken into custody as well. So all these raids coming at this time, and the AIADMK Amma group alleging that in fact these raids are happening because of Mr. Vijay Bhaskar having been very actively involved. He says that in certain areas where there is a critical vote of the Muslims in this particular area, he was to organize some functions today, and he believes today's raids are also intended to, in a sense, dent the morale of the cadre of the AIADMK Amma faction. Back to you, Vishnu.
All right, Tuba, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thanks very much for joining us with those details. Some images now coming in of the Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who begins her India tour today. Now, some officials are describing it, however, as a tour which may not really achieve as much as Bangladesh would have wanted, or India for that matter. That's because the crucial water sharing agreement, the Tista agreement, is unlikely to see much progress. The West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee remains opposed to the agreement. During her visit, the two countries are likely to sign up to 35 agreements and MOUs for bilateral trade and investment and cooperation in the energy sector, as well as better security along the highly porous border between the two countries. So that's the aircraft of the Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, which has arrived in India as we speak.
What are your expectations from this 4-day visit, and also what would be the key deals that would be on the table?
Well, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is coming to Delhi after 7 years, and we do hope that this visit will bring in a lot of fruitful and tangible results. There are about 30 odd MOUs which are to be signed, and we do expect that this signature of these MOUs will further integrate economic collaboration between the two countries, and it will be possible for us to make giant strides in the areas of trade, commerce, connectivity, energy cooperation.
Will Tista be one of them?
Well, water sharing is one of the issues, and we do hope that we will be able to resolve this issue one way or the other. Even if we are not in a position to sign the agreement, we hope the discussion would give us a definite cut-off date by which this agreement will be signed.
But we are hearing from people from both the sides that perhaps the signing may not take place. Will that create an uproar or a disappointment back at home?
Well, surely there will be some disappointment for sure, because as you know, this issue has been lying on the table for the last 7 years. And I think we would like this issue to be resolved quickly. At least as a compensation, what we believe, we should give a definite
Gadget 3.
With just one click. Ease my trip. I'm ready. American Tourister. I'm ready.
An elderly couple has been burnt alive in Dubakka in Telangana after being accused of practicing black magic. They were tied to a pole in front of their house, thrashed, blamed for bringing misfortune to relatives. Kerosene was poured on them and they were set alight. The man and his wife have suffered 80% burns. They've been shifted to a hospital but have died. The police have registered cases at this stage. Uma Sudhi joins us for more on this. Uma, what are you hearing on this horrific case?
This happened less than 100 kilometers from Hyderabad, Vishnu, and this was an elderly couple, 56-year-old and 52-year-old Sudhakar and Rajeshwari, who were in fact pulled out of their home, tied to a pole in front of their home and thrashed for quite a while. There are about 30 villagers, we are told, who are watching. The daughter and the son were also witness to this very, very horrific incident. While it is being said that the couple was suspected of having practiced black magic, because of which there was misfortune in the family, police are also investigating asking whether brother of Sudhakar, the man who was burnt alive, his brother had a dispute with his elder brother, and that's the reason why he incited the mob, in fact, to go ahead and set fire. So kerosene was poured on the couple and they were set on fire. 80% burn injuries they suffered. They were shifted to a hospital after the police came in and intervened. The boy, in fact, the son of this man who was set afire, is the one who called the police, and before that his daughter also said that she had in fact pleaded with all those present. She had fallen at their feet, saying that they would in fact leave the village and go away in case they were suspected of practicing black magic, but to spare the life of her parents. But that all fell on deaf ears. As of now, 5 people have already been named in the police complaint that's been given. The police saying that no arrest yet, but they have taken 2 people into custody as suspects in this particular case. Of course, case of murder 302 read along with 149 because there was a kind of a mob, a group involved in this very, very gruesome act. Back to you, Vishnu.
All right, Umar, thanks very much for joining us with details of that horrific attack. Thanks very much indeed. 3 Indian Army Jawans have been killed in an avalanche at their post in Batalik in Kashmir. This was a high-altitude post, more than 15,000 feet in altitude. 5 soldiers had been trapped. One of the bodies has still not been recovered. Meanwhile, what you see over here are waters in the greater Srinagar area. There's been very heavy rainfall in the area. The army has also been closely involved in rescue operations in this area. And let's just now return to images we are getting of the Prime Minister receiving his Bangladeshi counterpart, Sheikh Hasina, here in Delhi. It's the first day of her visit to India, an important visit where both countries look to further their very close relationship. India and Bangladesh are key allies, economic allies. Both countries will be certainly looking to tie or get closer to signing a river waters agreement. A clear sign of the closeness of the 2 countries. The Prime Minister personally at the airport in Delhi to receive Sheikh Hasina.
इधर भाई साहब मत मारना, ठोकर मत मारना, भाई साहब ठोकर मत मारना।
मकसूदी कैसे आ रहा है तो आगे कैसी इधर उधर मत सर गाड़ी मुकेश जी यार मुकेश जी
On your screen are of the Prime Minister, who just a few moments back received his Bangladeshi counterpart. Both sides expected to hold a series of talks. They will hold a series of talks to further the close economic ties between the 2 countries. The ties are quite expansive between India and Bangladesh. There are defense ties as well, and there is hope that both countries will get closer to some sort of an agreement on river water sharing, sharing of the Tista waters. Well, after an unusually hot week, unseasonal rainfall brought some relief. people in Hyderabad, but the hailstorm and gales have dampened the spirits of farmers who had expected the season to bring a good harvest and some cheer after 3 successive years of drought.
Mangoes not yet ready for harvest have fallen off the trees. After a scorching week, hailstorm accompanied by gales and unseasonal rains lashed Yadadri, Nalgonda, Siddipet and a few other districts of Telangana, hugely damaging the seasonal mango, paddy and some other crops.
రెవెన్యూ ప్రిన్సిపల్ సెక్రటరీ మీనా గారితో కూడా మాట్లాడి అన్ని జిల్లాల్లో కూడా ఆదేశాలు ఇచ్చి ఎక్కడెక్కడైతే పంట నష్టం జరిగిందో వడగళ్ల వాన వల్ల ఆయా జిల్లా కలెక్టర్ల నుంచి నివేదికలు తెప్పించి కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వానికి ఒక నివేదిక పంపాలని చెప్పి.
At the food grain market in Bhuvanagiri, it was dozens of small rivulets running in between mounds of harvested paddy. Farmers who have suffered 3 successive years of drought and had hoped for a decent crop this year are heartbroken. In the capital Hyderabad, rains brought much needed relief from the blazing heat, bringing down temperature by a couple of notches. Some more rain and thunderstorm is expected over the next couple of days.
Of the brain. People in poorer areas, in slums, are given extremely bad quality water.
Bat, Mumbai Indians were off to a flying start. Courtesy Josh Butler, who smashed the most expensive player of the season, Ben Stokes for 2 sixes in his very first. That dropped to just 13.5 while batting first. Ambati Raidu fell for a 12-ball 10, but Nitish Rana didn't give up and took his side past 100. In the 13th over. After Rana was dismissed for 34, Karan Pollard took the bowlers to the cleaners. But this brilliant catch by Mayank Agrawal didn't let the big man before being sent back for
the kind of form he is in, he took from where he left. So someone
Yes, I mean,
are aware that this is what other people are going through. Maybe the previous generation didn't do that.
By talking openly about their personal struggles, Sonia, Sunanda and Puravi help reduce the stigma and shame attached to mental illness and depression. It leads to more people seeking and getting understanding and support. With camera persons Pooja Arya and Manoj Thakur, this is Shruta Padev for NDTV 24/7.
This year on World Health Day, the theme is a very, very important topic: depression.
And rightly so, Sameer. The WHO has estimated that between the year 2005 to 2015, the number of people living with depression have increased by 18%. In fact, depression is the largest cause of disability worldwide.
That's almost 1 in 5 people. Now, depression is an illness that can affect anyone. It not only causes mental anguish, but also affects the person's ability to carry out everyday tasks. And at its worst, can lead to suicide.
But the good news is that depression can be prevented and treated. And today, Doctors on Call will take a closer look into helping you understand what factors can lead to depression. I'm Dr. Sonia Lal Gupta.
And I'm Dr. Sameer Gupta, and welcome to Doctors on Call. Depression is a common mental illness of the brain. Some symptoms of depression include a feeling of sadness, loss of interest, lack of pleasure and happiness, feelings of guilt, low self-worth, disturbed sleep or appetite, feelings of tiredness, and poor concentration.
Our brain's emotional circuit is made up of 3 main parts: the amygdala, the thalamus, and the hippocampus. All 3 of them are connected together, helping form new memories, and they also help modulate emotions like happiness, anger, fear, and pleasure. Some studies have shown that people who have depression have a smaller hippocampus, leading to lesser and slower functioning of this circuit, causing depression. Now, over the years, scientists through various research studies have determined that multiple reasons work together causing depression. The chemicals in the brain are called neurotransmitters and are found to be decreased in depressed people. These chemicals travel between the circuits, modulating mood, and less quantities can cause depression. Genes are found to play an important role in altering mood. Certain genes make people prone to react in certain ways. These genes can also play a role in making people fall into depression after stressful situations in their lives. The seasonal affective disorder affects 1 to 2% of the population and caused by change in seasons. This is especially seen when summer wanes away into the winter months. Apart from this, childhood losses, physical abuse, stressful life events like early loss of parents, violence, and certain medical stroke, cancer, or memory disorders like Alzheimer's dementia can also make someone prone to depression. Now, there are multiple reasons for depression, and that is the reason that sometimes medications do not work as well in some people.
Every year, depression affects nearly 19 million adults. But this illness is often misunderstood or misdiagnosed.
But the good news is that with the right treatment, medications, counseling, and family support, depression can be battled and joy can be brought into the lives of the people who suffer from it.
That's all we have time for, and I hope you found this useful. That's all for now. See you next week.
ये हलवा भी बना लेता है।
अरे मुझे लगा सिर्फ बेवकूफ बनाता है।
छूना नहीं इसको दोबारा, मेरी बेटी है, समझा?
Every day that I pick up my phone to surf the net, sometimes I Google myself, but most often before I Google myself, it's very important to go on Indie TV because I think it's a good source where it tells you everything that's happening around the world which is relevant, about sports, politics, movies, reviews. So I congratulate NDTV for being that source of entertainment, information and engagement for so long. Best of luck.
The new political battlefield.
हमारे यहाँ के लोग एस्टेब्लिशमेंट के खिलाफ लड़ते रहे हैं, लेकिन देशद्रोही नहीं हो सकते हैं.
A new crop of leaders to challenge the current lot. Listen to their voices.
Yes, we need to cleanse our system, but it's not as if the government is not sensitive to the difficulties people are undergoing.
Debate their ideas.
We'll ask for our pride and dignity, also about economic issues. ये अस्मिता और अस्तित्व दोनों की लड़ाई है.
NDTV introduces you to the new warriors. New Kids on the Block with me, Sunetra Chaudhary.
Friday at 9:30 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
Brought to you by CLLST, the trusted coach in town.
खूबसूरती है, रिश्ता है, भरोसा है, सर्टिफाइड एंड हॉलमार्क्ड है, भरोसा गीतांजलि का, ट्रस्ट फॉरएवर।
इंडिया का फास्टेस्ट नेटवर्क कौन सा है? दिस नेटवर्क इज द फास्टेस्ट।
इम्पॉसिबल यार, तेरा नेटवर्क
एक मिनट, सबूत है क्या? प्रूफ
तेरे पास है क्या?
है ना। स्पीड टेस्ट के ग्लोबल लीडर ऊकला ने साबित किया है कि इंडिया का फास्टेस्ट मोबाइल नेटवर्क एयरटेल है। अब और क्या बोलना बाकी है? स्विच टू एयरटेल। चलो टीवी बंद।
मैम प्लीज प्लीज मैम, फाइनल है।
उन फरिश्ते फैंस को सलाम, 10 साल आपके नाम। वीवो IPL।
यो मोटू हमारो रिमोटू काकू है। इनका काम रिमोट से सारे एसी को एडजस्ट करना है। कभी टेम्परेचर बढ़ाओ, अरे बढ़ाओ भाई, तो फिर टेम्परेचर कभी घटाओ। फिर हमारे प्रोग्रेसिव प्रिंस ले आए हायर का स्मार्ट आए एसी। अब ठंड बढ़ी तो टेम्परेचर अपने आप बढ़ जाता है, लोग बढ़े तो कूलिंग अपने आप मेंटेन हो जाती है और हवा 50 फीट तक जाती है। हायर स्मार्ट आए एसी, अब बाकी एसी की तेजी।
हायर इंस्पायर्ड लिविंग।
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
In association with MobiQuick.
Ahead of bypolls, tax raids at 35 places in Tamil Nadu, Health Minister and actor Sharad Kumar raided after a cash for votes video. Prime Minister Modi receives Prime Minister Hasina at the airport without usual traffic restrictions, but still no progress on Tista water sharing. After the Syrian gas attack on its own citizens, the US launches cruise missiles against the airbase from where the aircraft were launched. Russia, the strongest supporter of the Assad regime in Syria, was warned of the impending attack, may have tacitly allowed it to happen. Hailstorms and gales dampen the spirits of farmers who had expected this season to bring a good harvest and cheer after 3 years of drought. And Akshay Kumar wins his first national award for Best Actor. Hello and welcome to 125. I'm Ankita Mukherjee. The big story we're tracking right now, income tax officials have searched the Chennai residence of Tamil Nadu Health Minister Vijay Bhaskar. There have also been raids at his and properties of his associates in 34 other places. These raids come 2 days after video evidence of cash for votes at RK Nagar ahead of the bypolls on the 12th of this month. IT officials also say they believe Minister Vijay Bhaskar has evaded taxes in a large way. Income tax officials have also raided actor Sharad Kumar's house in Chennai.
From morning 6 o'clock, they've been searching, including my bathroom, including all the drawers, bureaus, everything. And even one key missed. I told you broke. I mean, you break the door and you see. You break the bureau and see. But they broken. Nothing is there. Not even 10,000 rupees they didn't find, sir. But honestly, the harassment is going on. They're not allowing my children to go to the school, sir. He's crying.
He is an active man in the ADMK. He is not only active man, he is having 34 booths are his control. What is the reason for today? Today, we are asking for during the election campaign.
Viewing the amount of corruption practiced in the election process of RK Nagar, I really welcome the move of the IT raids in various departments and residence of various leaders of fractions of ADMK. I think
tacitly give a picture that this income tax raids are used in collusion between the O Pannirselvam camp of AIADMK with the central government. They're not naming the central government, but they say this is nothing but a collusion between the O Pannirselvam camp and the income tax department, suggesting that there is lots of politics behind this to make sure Dinakaran does not win, so that other parties, including the other camp, the rival camp led by Pannirselvam, could actually try and form the government. But at the moment, there are no reports from the income tax authorities on what documents have they found or have they recovered any cash at all.
Yes.
This comes just a few days before the RK Nagar would go for the bypolls.
Right.
Ankita, after the
And
death
of course,
Sam,
the spotlight clearly on that RK Nagar bypoll, twice represented by J. Jayalalitha. Uma Sudhir also joining us on that story. Uma, we believe
the AIADMK Amma or Sasikala faction candidate, and that's the reason it is being thought why this channel has in fact been taken off air. As Sam was mentioning, RK Nagar, despite being only a bypoll and a constituency that late Chief Minister Jay represented. This a win or a loss in this particular constituency could actually turn the entire politics in Tamil Nadu upside down, because if Mr. Dinakaran manages to win here, other parties like the BJP or even the OPS faction would see that they do not have any space left to be able to have a political maneuverability there. Whereas if Dinakaran does not win in this particular election, we could in fact see a realignment of forces. In fact, people who are in the government or ministers and MLAs could actually start moving towards OPS and the camp, and that is something that is seen as something that the BJP would like to see happen in Tamil Nadu, so that they have still a maneuverability left. At least that is what the AIADMK Amma cadres who have been coming in there have been making this allegation, pointing fingers at the BJP. Of course, BJP's leader Tamilisai has already clarified, saying that all these raids are happening on the basis of documents and that there is no political motive or a BJP hand in the IT raids that are happening. But I must point out, Ankita, that in December, when the raids happened on the Tamil Nadu Chief Secretary Ram Mohan Rao, there were a lot of rumors about monies being recovered, documents recovered, and ultimately we saw that actually nothing. It came to a naught, and Mr. Ram Mohan Rao was in fact reinstated last week as part of the Entrepreneurship Development Institute by the government. Back to you, Ankita.
All right, thanks so much, Sam and Uma, for joining us on that latest story. Now, IG city Bengaluru is struggling for water this summer, and there's more bad news for the citizens of the city. Serious questions are now being raised about the quality of the existing water as well.
The Public Accounts Committee of the Karnataka legislature has said that water in over 6,000 bore wells maintained by the Bengaluru Water Board is not fit to drink. Contaminated with nitrate, heavy metals and E. coli bacteria, people are freely drawing and drinking this water.
While only 805 borewells were declared fit to be used, the contract for maintenance is given for more than 2,000 borewells, which means many of these contaminated borewells are still in use.
Activists and experts say the warning signs have been ignored for over a decade. Drinking water with nitrate and heavy metals could lead to cancer and also affect functioning of the brain.
People in poorer areas, in slums, are given extremely bad quality water. I think now it's gone beyond urban deprived communities. It is hitting even the middle class, because when you say 59 to 75% of water which is contaminated.
The water board concedes that contaminated water is being used by people, but says most of these borewells were transferred to them by various agencies. Tushar Girinath, chairman of the water board, says, "We accept the pact findings. Even our finding says 33 to 40% borewells are contaminated. Wherever possible, we are installing chlorinator and RO plants. Other places, we are discouraging people from using this water for drinking. Only 70% of Bengaluru gets piped water from the Kaveri, while the rest depends on groundwater. With camera person Alphonse and Harish Upadhyay, Abhinav Vishnoi for NDTV.
Harish joins us live from Bengaluru at this point. Harish, this must be such a big concern, particularly now as the temperature rises. What really is the way ahead? What are citizens now doing about this? All right, we seem to be having trouble with Harish's audio. I'm going to try again. Harish, if you can hear me, what next for Bengaluru? All right, clearly that line to Harish. Yes, go ahead, Harish.
Scaring statistics that have come out, more than 6,000 bore wells in Bengaluru that are contaminated, and most of them still being used by the BWSSB, saying that there's nothing much that could be done. BWSSB is not contesting this report by the PAC. They are saying that our estimates say around 33 to 40% of them are contaminated. We are trying to use this only for non-potable purpose, but many places continue to use them, and they're still very cagey about it. They're not giving out details on where these borewells are located. Joining us right now is Sridhar Pavishetty from the Namma Bengaluru Foundation. Well, water is one of the fundamental rights of people.
Yes.
A standard of living. This is some basic duty of the government, but clearly here we see a large number of citizens in Bengaluru getting contaminated water.
Absolutely, and this is really shocking, and this is very irresponsible of the BWSSB to not even cooperate completely with the Public Accounts Committee, wherein the data that they have requested has not been provided to them. I think the first thing the BWSSB has to do is to provide the details of all the 12,000 bore wells and also the pollutants that they have been identified with, and how they are ensuring that they are not taking the water and mixing it and delivering to us. We can't just go by their assurance that they are using it for non-potable purposes. We would need that data out in the public domain, and a scrutiny to happen to that. Even Public Accounts Committee is crying about this without enough data, right? So I do hope the Public Accounts Committee is given the data, and also citizens get to know this data.
Absolutely. Public Accounts Committee has given them 3 months time to come out with more detail and furnish the details that they have sought. What is more worrying for citizens of Bengaluru is the fact that only 70% of Bengaluru gets piped Kaveri water. The rest are totally dependent on groundwater, which is not of great quality. And this statistics that has come out is making wonder people if the water that they are consuming is actually fit and it's not causing any health hazard. Ma'am, this is something that not many Bengalurians knew of, that a large part of them who are getting water from borewells put up by BWSSB at street corners or various places might be contaminated, and they don't even know where these contaminated borewells are located. As a citizen, is it something that's worrying you now?
Yes, definitely it is worrying me, because it is very shocking now as to what I got to hear from you guys, that something like this has been happening. Because first of all, we used to think that's the most safest form of water till date. Now as a mother also, I'm really worried now as to what water to give them, because the doctors, when you go to the doctors, they also say like you have to, boil water. And then again, yes, I have a Pureit at home, but I don't use it at all, because they say even that is not pure. So even I use this type of water, which I used to think all these years is really safe. But now after listening to this, I really don't know what I have to say. BWSSB, I think there should be some measures taken now, because after getting to know, everybody will be worried as citizens of Bangalore, that such things are coming up, and we need to be aware of all these things which is happening.
Yeah. One more worrying part is that most of these borewells or areas that are provided borewell water by BWSSB are located in the areas that is inhabited by lower income strata groups, which means the awareness too, we understand, is very low. So BWSSB hasn't put out the details as well. So that's why activists are saying that it's time they put out the details to both the Public Accounts Committee and the citizens.
Yes. All right, Harish, thanks very much indeed for getting us voices of citizens from Bengaluru. It's a crucial story and one we'll continue to focus on. Moving on, Sonam Kapoor's Neerja has won the Best Hindi Film Award at the National Film Awards 2017. Akshay Kumar has won Best Actor for Rustam, and Pink As the US strikes Syria, is this now? Now going to be the next US-Russia flashpoint. More in a moment.
Ranking organizations.
I'm ready. American Tourister, I'm ready.
Quit Climber. Live for more style. Renault. Passion for life.
Sorry sir, वो app notifications, you know.
No, I don't know. कौन
सर मेरे apps.
जब 10 ऐप का काम है कर सकता है. Why have so many? Shopping, restaurants, movies, bill payments, JD पे everything. तो इधर-उधर जाने की क्या जरूरत है? JD पे आइए.
The brand new Gadgets 360 is here and everyone's loving it.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
You too can get some Gadgets expert technology reviews and more only on NDTV's Gadgets360.com.
On the Cell Guru Show this week, we have some epic headlines. The Samsung S8 shoulders the burden of bringing a whole company back, the legacy and reputation. Micromax makes a comeback. We have a phone nobody else has. All on Cell Guru this week.
Saturday at 2:30 on NDTV 24/7.
जब हो चुनना स्टार लेबल्ड प्रोडक्ट सबसे बेस्ट, अब आ गया BEE स्टार लेबल मोबाइल ऐप। देर न कर, डाउनलोड कर। जब हो स्टार लेबल्ड प्रोडक्ट में बेस्ट करनी हो स्टार लेबल की पहचान, देर न कर, डाउनलोड कर। इनवॉइस कॉपी सेव करनी हो या फीडबैक देना हो, देर न कर, डाउनलोड कर। स्टार लेबल्ड प्रोडक्ट्स के राइट सिलेक्शन के लिए अब आ गया BEE स्टार लेबल मोबाइल ऐप।
देर न कर, डाउनलोड कर।
ट्रेंड्स बनते नहीं, बनाए जाते हैं।
दादाजी,
शहर की हवा में पॉल्यूशन होता है।
एक मिनट, दादाजी अपने पास है नैनो इजी।
पैनासोनिक का नैनो इजी बैक्टीरिया PM 2.5 और वायरस को ढूंढकर डीएक्टिवेट करें। आपको मिले AC भी, एयर प्योरीफायर भी।
दादाजी अपने पास है
नैनो इजी।
Panasonic.
Prime Minister Modi has received Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at the airport, travelling without normal traffic restrictions in place in order to do so. However, some officials are describing Sheikh Hasina's visit as one without water. That's because a crucial water sharing agreement, the Tista agreement, is unlikely to see much progress. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee remains opposed to the agreement. During her visit, the two countries are likely to sign 35 other agreements and MOUs for bilateral trade, investment and cooperation in the energy sector, as well as better security along the highly porous border.
Well, surely there would be some disappointment for sure, because as you know, this issue has been lying on the table for the last 7 years. And I think we would like this issue to be resolved quickly. At least as a compensation, what we believe, we should give a definitive date time.
Just a few kilometers downstream is Bangladesh, and Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, is in India to demand some of this water for her country. Now, of course, this is the Tista River that flows all the way from Sikkim through West Bengal into Bangladesh, and that, of course, is the Tista Barrage, the last dam in India that holds water mostly for West Bengal's irrigation needs, and also for purposes further upstream like hydropower, where the water is also, some of the water actually is stored in a reservoir and then funneled through for production of hydropower. Now, Bangladesh says that the Tista Pact, if it's not signed, would be a huge disappointment, and for Sheikh Hasina too, it would be something that she would have liked if it had been signed, given the fact that there have been calls for her to sometimes even call off the visit from hardline factions within Bangladesh if the Tista Pact is not signed. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee, who has been opposing signing of the pact, says that these waters, the Tista waters, are required for her state's needs, and she wouldn't want to give it away to Bangladesh, while the centre seems interested in signing this pact, as not signing it would also mean that Bangladesh could look to other countries like China, and that's something that India would be uncomfortable about, given the fact that this visit, while many are calling it a visit without water because of the fact that the Tista Pact is not being signed, many would like at least some sort of moving forward towards a resolution on sharing of the Tista waters between India and Bangladesh. With camera person GD Shankar, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
Still ahead, why a united opposition is now demanding an apology from Union Minister Naqvi. More in a moment.
lovefoundation.org. परवाह है तो दोबारा पूछो.
Please do keep on going on to ndtv.com. It's an amazing site. It gives you news, coverage, everything. So I'm telling you, please go to ndtv.com right now.
We all want a better tomorrow. We all want to live in an environment which allows us to thrive. And I know we have it in us to make this happen. Who better to be the change than you, the children of the nation? Let's be the change that we desire. Let's together march towards a better India. 6 months, 3 tasks, 1 amazing goal. Log on to ndtv.com/betterindia and be a part of this movement.
Brought to you by DHFL Pramerica Life Insurance Company Limited.
This Akshay Tritiya, let the prosperity coming your way. Available in bars, coins and jewelry.
मुझे भी चाहिए
Luminex Uno with 95.5% pure precious metal.
पिंकी का पाइप फट गया तो
ऐसे सिर्फ तेरे होटल में होता है हैप्पी।
पर ये मेरा होटल है नहीं। यार तेरी हेल्प कौन करेगा पिंकी?
हेलो मेक माई ट्रिप हॉटलाइन, मे आई हेल्प यू?
हैप्पी जी, नए मेक माई ट्रिप अश्योर्ड होटल्स का हॉटलाइन आपकी किसी भी प्रॉब्लम के लिए 24 आवर्स अवेलेबल है।
आज तो कोई मीटिंग नहीं था।
अब मूर्ति सर को सर्कुलर नहीं भेजा? मूर्ति सर आइए ना,
आइए। सुना है मीनाक्षी भाभी 1 महीने के लिए मायके गई है।
फिर सर मानसून में आपको चाय कौन पिलाएगा?
हाँ।
आपको पकोड़े कौन खिलाएगा सर?
तो आज से हर शाम टी टाइम विद मूर्ति सर।
तालियां।
स्मार्ट नेबर्स, जब बाहर का मौसम चिपचिप होता तो ये सब मूर्ति का घर आकर कूल होता। बिजली का बिल मूर्ति भरता, बट मूर्ति स्मार्टर। वोल्टास ऑल स्टार इन्वर्टर एसी लगाता। इसका 2 स्टेज स्टडी कूल कंप्रेसर ऑल वेदर कंफर्ट देता, कम पावर लेता, ऑल ईयर सेविंग्स देता।
Days after 55-year-old Pehlu Khan died in Alwar in Rajasthan after he was badly beaten by a mob. He had been transporting cows, milch cows apparently, for their milk. The matter resonated once again in the Rajya Sabha with the united opposition demanding an apology from Union Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi, who had stood up on the floor of the House and said there had been no such incident.
डॉक्टर हमने कांग्रेस पार्टी या समाजवादी या बीएसपी ने या जेडीयू ने नहीं भेजे। डॉक्टर भी उसी गवर्नमेंट के हैं। उन्होंने कहा कि इंटरनल इंजरी हुई है पीटने से, उनके पेट में और छाती में जो इंटरनल ब्लीडिंग हुई उसकी वजह से मरे हैं। और मुझे सर बहुत अफसोस, जैसे मैंने आई विल कंप्लीट सर इन 1 मिनट। मेरा ये कहना है कि थप्पड़ अगर एक दूसरे को कोई मारे तो उसकी रिमांड होती है 14 दिन के लिए, और ये कत्ल के लिए रिमांड की होती है। सर माय लास्ट डिमांड इज सो द हाउस शुड नो एट व्हाट टाइम ऑनरेबल होम मिनिस्टर इज कमिंग सो दैट विल बी प्रेजेंट।
जो हिंसा कर रहा है वो हिंसा है, और हिंसा और अपराध को हिंदू, मुसलमान, सिख, ईसाई की नजर से देखेंगे तो निश्चित तौर से इसका मैसेज ठीक नहीं जाएगा।
Sir, this is Sir, this is undermining the position of Rajya Sabha. The Home Minister didn't do his duty. Now, automatically, again, this has come up in the entire media of the country. The Home Minister and the Parliamentary Affairs Minister should have fulfilled their duty. Sir, Chair, I am very sorry that this government should take the Rajya Sabha seriously.
Income tax officials have searched the Chennai residence of Tamil Nadu Health Minister Vijay Bhaskar. There have also been raids at his properties and those of his associates in 34 other places. The raids come 2 days after video evidence of cash for votes at RK Nagar ahead of the bypolls on the 12th of this month. IT officials say they believe the minister has evaded taxes in a large way as well. Income tax officials have also raided actor Sharat Kumar in Chennai.
From morning 6 o'clock, we've been searching, including my bathroom, including all the drawers, bureaus, everything, and even one key missed. I told you broke. I mean, you break the door and you see. You break the bureau and see. But they broken. Nothing is there. Not even 10,000 rupees they didn't find, sir. But honestly, the harassment is going on. They're not allowing my children to go to the school, sir. He's crying.
He is an actual man in the AIDMK. He is not only actual man, he is having 34 booths are his control. What is the reason for today? Today, they are asking for during the election campaign.
Viewing the amount of corruption practiced in the election process of RK Nagar,
I really welcome the move of the IT raids in various departments and residence of various leaders of fractions of ADMK. I think the houses should be leaders of all the houses, particularly both the factions as well as DMK should be raided.
3 Indian Army Jawans have been killed in an avalanche in their post in Batalik in Kashmir. This is a high-altitude post and 5 soldiers have been trapped. One of the bodies has still not been recovered. Multiple avalanches have hit army posts in Kashmir and rescue operations are underway.
There was an avalanche in the Batalik sector in Kargil. 5 soldiers were buried in that avalanche. 3 have now died. 2 who were taken out are recovering. Elsewhere in the valley, there's flood-like situation. The water levels in Jhelum have risen considerably, but in Sangam, in South Kashmir, where waters are measured, the levels have come down. In Ram Munshibagh, it's marginally up. The government has already announced a flood. Yesterday, people have been asked to remain alert. Control rooms have been set up and also helplines have been given out for all those who would need any help. Right now, there's the problem of waterlogging in many areas, and that's caused some sort of a inundation in low-lying areas, but so far the Jhelum has not breached anywhere. The waters have not entered the city. The Met had forecast that weather will improve from today. It was not raining in the morning, but now it's raining again, as you can see, and that's the biggest worry. The memories of 2014 floods still fresh. People in the night were seen taking their belongings from the ground floor, taking them up onto their top floors. In Nagar with Sheikh Tariq Zafar Iqbal for NDTV.
After an unusually hot week, unseasonal rain has brought some relief to people in Hyderabad, but hailstorms and gales have dampened the spirits of farmers who had expected this season to bring a good harvest and some cheer after 3 successive years of drought.
Mangoes not yet ready for harvest have fallen off the trees. After a scorching week, hailstorm accompanied by gales and unseasonal rains lashed Yadadri, Nalgonda, Siddipet and a few other districts of Telangana, hugely damaging the seasonal mango, paddy and some other crops.
Revenue Principal Secretary Mipanki oka nivedika pampalani cheppi
At the food grain market in Bhuvanagiri, it was dozens of small rivulets running in between mounds of harvested paddy. Farmers who have suffered 3 successive years of drought and had hoped for a decent crop this year are heartbroken. In the capital Hyderabad, rains brought much needed relief from the blazing heat, bringing down temperature by a couple of notches. Some more rain and thunderstorm is expected over the next couple of days. Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
So lots of unseasonal rain around the country. For more on the weather, let's go across to Divya.
Thank you so much, Ankita. Let's find out exactly what the weather is looking like at the moment. In Jammu and Kashmir, the situation started to show signs of improvement. However, the schools remain shut and the highway remains closed even now. We're expecting more showers in the coming 24 hours. They're going to be much lesser than what had been recorded yesterday or the day before. But heavy rain still in forecast. Improvement expected from tomorrow. Dry weather conditions are expected. The water has started to recede in many areas of the valley. Now, heavy rain will be seen only in the coming 24 hours. No red alert warning per se, but there'll be certain isolated areas where heavy showers are seen. Thunderstorm expected over Uttar Pradesh, Bihar as well as Jharkhand, and Karnataka and Kerala will see heavier showers coming in than what is seen in Telangana. Dust-raising winds in Rajasthan have helped bring down the temperature there. Do remember, Rajasthan was one place where heatwave conditions started at the very beginning, and they continued just till about 2 days ago. In the last 24 hours, heatwave conditions have abated from Rajasthan. Let's take into account the temperatures. Shuru, which was way above 40 degrees, so was the case in Bikaner and Barmer. They were way above 43 degrees, and Jodhpur and Ajmer, all the temperatures here are 2 to 4 degrees cooler than usual. Heatwave conditions have abated from the entire country, as even though temperatures are between 42 to about 44 degrees in certain parts of Maharashtra, but the deviation from normal is less than 3 or the maximum of 3 degrees, which is why heatwave conditions are not prevailing at the moment. In New Delhi, the temperature is 38 degrees, but let's take into account the temperature in April usually goes above 40 degrees in the month of April. That's what we're expecting this month as well. In 2015, the temperature touched 45.5 degrees Celsius. Right now, the temperature at 38 degrees is 4 degrees above the norm. The temperature will start to rise from the beginning of next week. That's the latest that I have for you. Ankita, it's over to you.
Thanks so much. Let's move on. An elderly couple burnt alive in Telangana after being accused of practicing black magic.
Is the Chief Minister's constituency, and this is the place where an elderly couple couple, 56-year-old Sudhakar and his wife, 52-year-old Rajeshwari, were burnt alive in front of their son and daughter. There was a mob of about 30 people. In the police complaint that's been given, 5 people have been named. These include relatives of Sudhakar. What the build-up that's been given, or the story that's being attributed, is that the people believed that the couple was practicing black magic and witchcraft, and that's the reason why they were brought out of their home, tied to a pole in front of their home, thrashed in front of the entire
This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV 24/7.
In association with MobiQuick.
Ahead of the Bypoll tax raids at 35 places in Tamil Nadu, the Health Minister Vijay Bhaskar and actor Sharat Kumar raided after cash for votes video. Prime Minister Modi receives Sheikh Hasina at the airport without usual traffic restrictions, but still no progress on Tista waters. After the Syrian gas attack on its own citizens, the US launches cruise missiles against the airbase from where aircraft were launched. Russia, Assad's strongest supporter, was warned of the impending attack, may have tacitly allowed it to happen. Hailstorms and gales dampened the spirits of farmers who had expected the season to bring a good harvest and cheer after 3 successive droughts. And Akshay Kumar wins the first national award for Best Actor for Rustam. Good afternoon and welcome. We're leading with international news today, and another war on the horizon. The United States has fired a barrage of cruise missiles into Syria in retaliation against this week's chemical weapons attack against civilians. About 59 US Tomahawk missiles fired from warships in the Mediterranean targeted an airbase in retaliation for that chemical weapons attack that American officials believe the Syrian government's aircraft launched with a nerve agent. President Trump has called the Syrian chemical attacks a disgrace to humanity. Syrian state TV has called the US military attack an act of aggression.
It was a slow and brutal death for so many. Even beautiful babies were cruelly murdered in this very barbaric attack. No child of God should ever suffer such horror. Tonight I ordered a targeted military strike on the airfield in Syria from where the chemical attack was launched. It is in this vital national security interest of the United States to prevent and deter the spread and use of deadly chemical weapons. There can be no dispute that Syria used banned chemical weapons, violated its obligations under the Chemical Weapons Convention, and ignored the urging of the UN Security Council.
Meanwhile, Syria's foreign minister has dismissed allegations that the Syrian army had deployed these chemical weapons in the city of Idlib, saying the military would never use such weapons against its own people or even against terrorists. But pictures coming out of Syria seem to indicate otherwise.
أولا نحن في مجتمع لا يسوده قانون الغابة، وأعضاء مجلس الأمن وخاصة الدائمين منهم لديهم مسؤوليات في الحفاظ على الأمن والسلم الدوليين، هكذا يقول الميثاق، بمعنى يمنع عليهم التصرف بشكل
Meanwhile, Russia's President Vladimir Putin has denounced the American airstrikes against the Syrian government airbase as aggression. Putin says he believes the attack was done under a trumped-up pretext. The Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters on Friday, according to Russian state-run news agency Sputnik. However, there are still indications that Russia was kept in the loop of these attacks.
Not just as a candidate, but as recently as last week, both the White House as well as the U.S. envoy to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, had made a public statement that the U.S. focus will be on fighting ISIS and not ousting Assad. That was a direct statement coming in from administration, but White House officials say that during the course of days, and especially after this attack that we saw in the northern province of Idlib, where many, including innocent children, were brutally killed by that chemical weapons attack, Donald Trump changed his mind. He himself states that very strongly in the statement he just gave out moments ago, that the images, the horrific images of those helpless children choking to death made him feel that the United States has to do something and act alone if necessary. But I think symbolically this is a huge signal, a strong signal, not just to Syria and the Assad regime, but strong signal to the rest of the world that this is a different U.S. administration. They're in from Russia saying that they challenging the need to go ahead with the strike without giving due notice and due evidence. But the U.S. maintains very strictly that this 60-plus Tomahawk missile strike that took place was at the exact airbase where the chemical gas weapon attack is expected to have originated from. So it was targeted. We don't know the extent of the damages post this, but this is virtually in a farmland, so it's not close to towns or villages where there is a risk of collateral damage. So we believe that this was a very targeted attack by the U.S. military. Obviously, the questions now which come into the picture are, what will Putin do? Will he let this one strike go unpassed, unchecked? But what happens in terms of a longer lasting solution? We heard Rex Tillerson, the U.S. Secretary of State, just moments ago say that the U.S. is looking at building a coalition with like-minded partners to ensure that Assad is overthrown. They want the regime change, and they will be looking aggressively at building this coalition. And that really obviously brings us to what possibly could be the most tense region in the world right now, in the grasp of these conflicting military forces.
Meanwhile, as these airstrikes were announced, the U.S. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania hosted a dinner for Chinese President Xi Jinping and his wife at the president's Florida estate, Mar-a-Lago. It was ostensibly a more informal setting to allow the two to develop rapport. President Trump was heard saying they've had a long discussion already, and so far he's gotten nothing, but said that in the long term the pair would have a great relationship. This is a high-stakes summit for both leaders.
I just want to say it's a great honor to have the President of China and his incredibly talented wife, a great celebrity in China, a great singer. It's an honor to have you in the United States. We've had a long discussion already, and so far I have gotten nothing, absolutely nothing. But we have developed a friendship, I can see that. And I think long term, we're going to have a very great relationship, and I look very much forward to it.
Moving on now from world developments back in India, income tax officials have searched the Chennai residence of the 12th of this month. Officials say they believe that Vijay Bhaskar has evaded taxes as well. Income tax officials have raided actor Sharat Kumar's house in Chennai as well.
From morning 6 o'clock, they've been searching, including my bathroom, including all the drawers, bureaus, everything. And even one key missed. I told you broke. I mean, you break the door and you see. You break the bureau and see. But broken. Nothing is there. Not even 10,000 rupees they didn't find, sir. But honestly, the harassment is going on. They're not allowing my children to go to the school, sir. He's crying.
He is an active man in the AIDMK. He is not only active man, he is having 34 booths are his control. What is the reason for today? Today, we are asking for during the election campaign.
Viewing the amount of corruption practiced in the election process of Nagar, I really welcome the move of the IT raids in various departments and residence of various leaders of fractions of ADMK. I think the houses should be leaders of all the houses, particularly both the factions as well as DMK should be raided.
We have also given complaints, two complaints to the CEC here, that Mr. TTV Dinagaran, the ruling faction of the ADMK, candidate of the ruling faction of the ADMK, is distributing money in large scale. And about 30 people were also arrested belonging to that group for distributing money, and money was captured. The Election Commission also had have roving squads now to catch people who are distributing money.
Well, my colleague Sam Daniel now joins us from Chennai for more on this. Sam, you know, the assembly election bypoll is on the 12th. It's days away. One controversy after another. How is this going to play out politically?
Well, the stakes are so high, particularly for the two factions within the AIADMK, one led by Sasikala, the other led by former Chief Minister Pannirselvam Maya, because if Dinakaran, Sasikala's candidate, wins, then chances are he would want to be elevated as Chief Minister, hoping that he'll be able to hold all the MLAs together for the rest of the 4-year term the AIADMK has. And if he fails, then the worry for them is he could go into political oblivion, paving way perhaps for the rival camp led by Pannirselvam if he wins to somehow, which could lead to a large-scale exodus of MLAs from the Sasikala camp to Pannirselvam camp, which the Pannirselvam camp hopes will happen. So both the stakes are quite high, and these raids come after reports of large-scale buying of voters by the Sasikala group allegedly. And also after the video emerged showing a man allegedly belonging to the Sasikala camp giving away up to 4,000 rupees to 3 voters inside a house in Nagar. The Election Commission recently had transferred 22 police officers, including 5 IPS officers, and that's the big question. The income tax authorities say they have clear reports and possible evidence that the health minister was playing a key role in distribution of cash, and so much of money was also allegedly paid to Sarath Kumar, whose party also supports Dinakaran. In fact, he met him yesterday, and the AIADMK Sasikala camp completely denies this, and they're not referring to the central government or the BJP specifically, but they say that the rival camp led by Pannirselvam perhaps is colluding with the central government, and the income tax department is being used against them for this reason. Maya.
Right, Sam, thanks very much for joining us with all those details. Thanks a lot. Well, of course, as we said, this is something that is going to play out in the RK Nagar bypolls as well on the 12th. Moving on to the other big diplomatic story from India, Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is in Delhi. She was received at the airport by Prime Minister Modi himself. However, some officials are describing her visit as a trip without water. That's because a crucial water sharing agreement on the Tista river is unlikely to see much progress. There's a lot of domestic pressure in Bangladesh for Sheikh Hasina to implement a 2011 agreement that had fallen by the wayside.
That India would be uncomfortable about, given the fact that this visit, while many are saying it, many are calling it a visit without water because of the fact that the Tista pact is not being signed, many would like at least some sort of moving forward towards a resolution on sharing of the Tista waters between India and Bangladesh. With camera person GD Shankar, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
Moving on now, Tawang is all set to welcome Dalai Lama this afternoon. He would have driven 140 kilometers on difficult roads to come to the place in India that provided him refuge when he left Tibet in 1959. He's been here before, but for Tawang, his visit is always special.
Heaven and earth are waiting to greet the Dalai Lama here at Tawang. Look at the sea of flags over here, lining the road which will take the Dalai Lama in a short while to the monastery where he is staying. And this, of course, is the lucky signs of Buddhism that are paving the way for His Holiness. This is the monastery where Dalai Lama came and stayed in 1959 when he fled Tibet, and all the young people lining the way. A little later, when Dalai Lama is on his way, they will have khatas and incense in their hands. Tell me, कैसा लग रहा है आपको? दलाई लामा को आपने कभी पहले देखा है?
Yes, I'm very happy that today Dalai Lama is visiting here. We all are very happy and we came here as a volunteer.
कैसा लग रहा है?
अच्छा लग रहा है।
क्या बोलेंगे आप दलाई लामा को?
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है मैम, क्योंकि अभी तो बहुत साल का बाद यहाँ में आ रहे हैं, तो हमको बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, इसलिए सब आदमी भी यहाँ में जमा हुआ है, इसलिए बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है।
So बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. That is pretty much the anthem. Dalai Lama coming here for the first time after 2009. It's a big day for Tawang. At Tawang with Sanjay Chakravarti, Monidita Banerjee, NDTV.
Well, as we track that important story, news that's coming in just now, a scare at Delhi airport involving 6 was set to take off for Goa. An Indigo flight was landing at the same time. According to information from sources, the runways they were on, 27 and 28, were converging runways. Indigo was given clearance to land as Air India was given clearance to take off on the converging runway. And of course, as we said, there was it was an averted near disaster at the airport.
दादाजी,
शहर की हवा में पॉल्यूशन होता है।
नैनो इजी है ना?
नैनो इजी?
1 मिनट, दादाजी अपने पास है नैनो इजी।
पैनासोनिक का नैनो इजी बैक्टीरिया PM 2.5 और वायरस को ढूंढकर डीएक्टिवेट करे। आपको मिले एसी भी, एयर प्योरीफायर भी।
दादाजी अपने पास है
नैनो इजी।
Panasonic. ये है ड्यूलक्स वेदर शील्ड पावर फ्लेक्स नेचर चैलेंज।
All the cricket action now at your fingertips. Use this cube for cricket scores on ndtv.com and the NDTV app. You can move it anywhere on your screen. Cricket with the NDTV app. Download the latest update now.
Heads of states, business tycoons, Oscar winners, superstars of sport and cinema, scientists, philosophers, spiritual gurus. If there's one quality that they all share, if there's one secret about them that I know, it is this.
My brother shielded me from all the pressures in life.
मेरे राज्य में कहीं एक अकस्मात हो जाता है तो भी मुझे दर्द होता है।
I never felt that I was a foreigner or that they looked at me as a foreigner because I am Indian.
I think every day is tough.
Always tried to change the rules of the game. You get them walking, you can get them talking. Discover the undiscovered side and interesting people. With me, Shekhar Gupta, only on Walk the Talk.
A brand new.
समझे दोबारा, थामे दोबारा. Log on to the livelovelaugh.foundation.org. परवाह है तो दोबारा पूछो.
Sorry sir, वो app notifications, you know.
No, I don't know. On the...
Okay.
No.
Sir, मेरे apps.
जब 10 ऐप का काम एक JD ऐप कर सकता है, why have so many? Shopping, restaurants, movies, bill payments, JD पे everything. तो इधर उधर जाने की क्या जरूरत है? JD पे आइए.
Welcome back. The 64th National Awards were announced this morning and the jury was headed by noted filmmaker Priyadarshan. Sonam Kapoor's Neerja won the Best Hindi Feature Film Award as well as a special mention for Sonam for her portrayal of Neerja Bhanot. And Akshay Kumar, he was the big surprise. The actor wins his first national award for Rustam and also he apparently beat Mohanlal, who was a strong contender for this particular category. Mohanlal had 3 films, while Akshay had 2. And according to Priyadarshan, it was Akshay who stood out for his portrayal. Actually, was the biggest grosser in 2000. Shujit Sarkar's Pink won the award for Best Movie on Social Issues. And as we mentioned, Zehra Bhatto's award for Dangal. Mohanlal Jury Award. Ajay Devgan Shivai won the award for special effects, and it was basically the film Ventilator that won Rakesh Mapuskar Best Director. Ventilator has been produced by Priyanka Chopra's production, and the Best Female Playback Singer went to Iman Chakravarti. And Sonam Kapoor and Akshay Kumar are currently in, and the two. And guess even Akshay Kumar is as surprised on his win, and he put up this video thanking his fans for the honor.
Thank you एक बहुत छोटा सा word लग रहा है इस वक्त, but I don't know how else to express what I'm feeling right now. I'm truly humbled by this honor. I would like to thank the National Award jury and all my fans from the core of my heart for believing in my talent. Rustam was a very special role to play. अपने देश की नेवी की यूनिफॉर्म पहन पाना अपने आप में ही एक स्पेशल बात है, चाहे एक फिल्म रोल के लिए क्यों ना हो, और अब इस नेशनल अवार्ड ने तो इसे हमेशा के लिए स्पेशल बना दिया है. I would like to dedicate this award to the blessing of my parents and my loving family, especially to my lovely wife, जो मुझे हमेशा मजाक में कहती है कि भैया अच्छा हुआ तुमने अवार्ड फंक्शन में जाना छोड़ दिया है, कभी कुछ मिलता तो है नहीं. खैर देर आए दुरुस्त आए, कुछ तो आए. और एक और बात, as I speak, this national award winning actress Sonam Kapoor, वो भी मेरे साथ इस फिल्म में शूटिंग करी और कमाल की बात है मेरे साथ ही इस वक्त. So it's a double celebration for us today. Thank you guys. Thank you very much for your love.
And Akshay is actually shooting for his wife's production, Padman in Maheshwar. Well, that's it from me. It's over to Maya for the other updates.
All right, Pooja, thanks a lot. We will, of course, take a break at that. When we come.
I'm ready. American Tourister, I'm ready.
Whatever you like, now put it behind. We'll drop the face to join the flow. I'm here now.
One name is worth 1,000 lives. Dispo Van, the syringe you can bet your life on.
Wherever we go, this is our fault. The sun is shining, don't worry about a thing. We could go east, we could head west. The world is on a holiday and everything is our way.
Vacations Exotica, a world of difference.
India has one of the highest suicide rates in the world.
It was not anything to do with failure or love problem. It was biological.
Many of those who committed suicide were affected by severe depression.
If a person says to another person, I don't want to live, I'm fed up, it's a cry for help.
Every case of suicide is preventable.
Watch NDTV Every Life Counts special show. Let's talk about depression. Tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
On the Sel Guru Show this week, we have some epic headlines. The Samsung S8 shoulders the burden of bringing a whole company back
the legacy and reputation. Micromax makes a comeback. Joni says we have a phone nobody else has. All on Sell Guru this week.
Saturday at 2:30 on NDTV 24/7.
ये हलवा भी बना लेता है।
अरे मुझे लगा सिर्फ बेवकूफ बनाता है।
छूना नहीं इसको दोबारा, मेरी बेटी है समझा।
उन फ्यूचर फैंस को सलाम, 10 साल आपके नाम। Vivo IPL.
Daddy, your